my name is Kaitlyn. So the reason I became Catholic and started with that was actually my husband is Catholic. And so that was the first time I ever stepped into a Catholic church was with him. And then we, started to have kids and they got their baptism. And there was a component for me that was, what am I missing out on that the rest of my family is in? And I wanted to be part of that. And also I think as you start to spend time in the church, you start to see, there's an impact of seeing everyone around you. And you want to experience the same light that they're experiencing. And so after a couple of years of time of that, eventually it was, I want to do this and I want to learn more. I would say the thing that stood out to me the most is I came from a non-denominational church growing up. And so I was very familiar with taking communion, which was always representative of the body and blood of Christ, but it was just representative. And so coming to the Catholic Church and taking the Eucharist for the first time and having it be the literal body and blood was something that was very transformative. I would say the only thing I could think to compare it to is, the blind man who could finally see that was healed by Jesus. It's something that you don't know what you're missing until you finally take it. And then it brings light to something of a world you never knew before. I would say the biggest concerns I had coming into it that were so different from what I knew in a non-denominational church was, you often hear that Catholicism worships saints and also the idea of purgatory. Those were two things that were really, I wasn't sure that I was going to go through to the end until I learned more about those. And all I can say is learning about them, and you do have the opportunity to really opens your eyes that it's not what so much of the public thinks it is. It's just there's a lot of wrong ideas, I think, about the Catholic Church, and I would just encourage anyone to come and try and learn more, at least as the first step. The biggest obstacle that I had to overcome in my journey to Catholicism was I have two young kids. I have a 1-year-old who actually, when I started OCIA, was only 4 months, and then a 2-year-old. And so the time is always, so tremendous when you think of the time requirement because it is a lot. It's weekly, especially if you're working full time. But all I can say is it's so worth it and it's very fulfilling to do it. And the time is very well spent. I'm very happy I did the experience, and I would encourage anyone to at least give it a try. There's no harm in, take the first step. It's not a commitment until it is a commitment, and you won't know until you try.